Good morning, and welcome to episode 78 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. I'm going to switch things up a little bit here. I've got a question which is basically, to answer it's going to take up the majority of today's session. So I'm going to start off first with giving you the metals prices from a week ago and today. And then I'll get into the question, which is a great question from a longtime client named George, who basically has put into words what I think is what's on everybody's mind, and I thought it'd be worthwhile to share with you here today. So first off, let's look at the prices. Gold today is at 1831.40. That's up 1/4% from 1827 last week. Silver is down 1/3% to 21.47. It's down 8 cents from 21.55 last week. Platinum's down $16 to 941 from 957. That's 1/2 drop in the week. And palladium is up 2 1/3. Last week it was the only metal that was down, but it's 2 1/3% up this week at 1966 from 1920 last week. The gold-silver ratio, with gold slightly up and silver slightly down, number of ounces of silver takes to buy an ounce of gold, is up slightly this week to 85.65 from 85.13. And the US dollar index is down slightly this week to 104.54 from 104.80. So let's get right to it. I want to read you the question from our good client George. He said, "But this makes no sense, Rich. Inflation has been ugly for months and equities have not been that horrible for months. Gold and silver had lower highs and lower lows since August of 2020. Frankly, you're grasping at reasons to justify buying gold and silver. On the weekly chart, gold is looking like it's forming a handle to a cup and handle chart pattern, but there certainly is zero confirmation to buy either metal. Why in the face of ugly inflation are prices in a bear trend? Your explanation does not fit the weekly price data. There's something else going on and I don't yet understand it. Is it that cash has been chasing real estate?" So George touches on a lot of stuff there, but it all comes down to this. Inflation is rearing its ugly head, and he does not see gold and silver doing what we would all expect it to do, okay? And my answer to him is pretty simple. Gold, in my opinion, is doing what it's supposed to do, and I just want to get the elephant in the room out of the way right off the bat. We buy and sell gold and silver and platinum and palladium, so it really doesn't behoove me to talk up gold and silver for you to buy. If it made sense to sell it, I can do that too, okay? And I make a small margin either way. So I'm not trying to force you into buying gold and silver. That's not my goal here. I'm just trying to share with you what I think is going on in the marketplace. And George is right. The equities really haven't been that bad for that long. They really started at the end of last year because up until then, let's face it, the Fed was denying inflation, and you know where I stand. They created this monster, okay? The fact that they did not know it existed is ludicrous and mind-boggling to me, but let's assume they didn't know, and then they were fooled by it. They thought it was transitory, and then they didn't think it was going to be that bad, and now they realize it's worse than it ever was, and they're taking aggressive action, and they have the tools, and they can solve this. That's all garbage and talk and whatnot. I'm looking at the markets, and I'm telling you, we have inflation. We've had it for over a year and a half, and the Fed created it, and they have done nothing to counter it, and these steps they're taking now are minimal, but they are finally taking steps this year, and that's why the stock market is coming down. We're seeing a bit of a deflationary trend in asset values. This everything bubble is deflating a bit because the Fed is starting to take the punch bowl away. They've got much more further to go, but they're starting to take the punch bowl away. As a result, the Dow is down 16% so far this year. The S&P 500 is down 21%, and the NASDAQ is down almost 30%. It was 30, it's down 29 and change right now. So we're clearly in bear market territory. Everybody's talking the R word in recession. And gold, in my opinion, is doing very well. The reason I say that is it is trading in a range of $1,800 to $1,900 after coming off a run up to all-time highs during COVID where it went too far too fast and needed to consolidate. Gold and silver right now are facing incredible headwinds from a strong dollar, which is the least dirty shirt in the hamper compared to other currencies. Okay, so the dollar is strong, that's headwinds for gold, and yet it is holding up in range. Gold is slightly positive for the year. Silver is slightly negative, not massively negative like the equities indices are. Okay, so gold is holding up despite the fact that the dollar has moved from about 95 on the US dollar index, which is right where we look at bear versus bull territory. It has jumped up to over 105, and today it sits just under 105 at 104 and change. That is a strong move in the dollar, and yet gold is still strong. In every other currency out there, gold is strong, except against the dollar, because this dollar is benefiting from safe haven flows right now with everything going on in the world and inflation going on all over the world. I tell you, gold is strong. Don't get fixated on short-term, weekly, daily movements in gold. The story about gold is long-term. Look at a chart from 71 when we decoupled from the dollar with gold, and look to now, and you will see that gold continues to do its job. In my opinion, it will always do its job as we measure it with mismanaged fiat currency that is diluted in value and worth less over time. It will take more of those dollars, euro, yen, etc. to buy that ounce of gold in the future. George and all, I hope this helps. I hope this clarifies some of the things that you're seeing right now. Don't give up on gold. It's done its job for 5,000 years. I expect it will continue to do its job in this environment and forward. As always, we want you to go ahead and like us, subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, send us your comments and questions so I can share them like I did today with George. Wonderful question. Go ahead and follow us on social media, subscribe to our newsletter and alert services, and please, whatever you do, don't forget that getting rich starts with keeping what's yours.